I've got a number of functions from other students. These are not necessarily SAT questions, and I apologize if it's not more legible, but that's an N, and that's an N, and that's an N.
Yeah.
So let's say I want you to find G of 3, okay? G of 3. What that means is you're going to put 3 in for N. And it's actually better to treat the variables as if they are in parentheses. That way, when you put the number in, you're putting it in the parentheses. All right. So could you simplify this for us, please? And you're welcome to use a calculator if you need to.
All right.
Need a calculator?
Yeah.
Sorry to have
Okay.
Here you go, love.
Thanks.
Sorry, Matthew, you didn't have a calculator.
That's all right. All right. Let me know what you come up with when you do that calculation, please.
Uh, 9 plus 4 plus 6.
Good. Go ahead and give me the final result.
Uh,
Wait, and I didn't hear your answer if you gave it.
-1.
You said 9 plus 4 plus 6, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
17.
they're all positive. It's not 17. Please use the calculator if you got it.
19.
19. Good. Okay. Now, new problem here. I'm going to give you two functions. Okay. Two functions. I want you to first determine f of -1. Okay. And as a reminder, it's best to treat the variable as if it's in parentheses.
-7.
4 times -1 minus 3 is -7. Good. Now, could you calculate g of -1?
-9.
So did you write it as x in parentheses cube plus 2 times x in parentheses? Did you write that on your paper?
Yeah.
Okay. Now you're putting -1 in parentheses plus 2 times -1. And if you have a calculator, like all of these functions, all of these symbols are built in. Parentheses is built in, exponent of 3 built in. Like this should all be done in your calculator.
-3.
It is -3. Good. Okay. All right, so let's see if we get a little faster at this. I'm gonna give you two more functions this time. Speed, speed, speed. We want to be fast, fast and correct. Could you find h of 2 and g of -2 for us, please?
Nine and nine.
Very good. Okay. Now let's say the problem asks you to find h of 2 divided by g of -2. How would you use those two results that you just found?
Plug them in.
Okay, tell me what would go on the top and the bottom.
9 and 9.
Okay, and that would reduce to 1, for example.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's try a new problem here where we use the same idea here. So I want you to find g of -1 plus h of 1. And that means that as a in-between step, you have to figure out what g of -1 is and h of 1 is.
-3.
Is that your final answer or just an in-between answer?
Uh, for G.
And I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just asking because I don't want to say right or wrong or anything. Just tell me what is that your final answer or is that one of these in between?
I meant for G of -1.
Okay, keep going. Find h of 1 and then put it all in here.
-3.
For the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yes. Very good. Okay. Let's try. Let's see if we can make this a little bit more complicated. Only because you're doing so well on these. All right, so here is a more challenging one. All right, so I want you to find g of 1 and then g of -1 for us, please.
-4 for G of 1.
Is that what you have down?
Yeah.
Let's look at that one together. Because the parentheses really matter. Negative parentheses 1 squared minus 1 minus 2 times 1. And so this becomes -1 minus 1 minus 2, which is -4. Good.
Mm.
All right. Could you try the next one for us, please?
Zero.
Yeah, so it ends up being this one actually is -1 again, -1 plus 2, which is 0. Perfect. All right. So you get the basics down of evaluating functions. So let's go to do some multiple choice. Okay. That's really what, maybe you're struggling with. Now, as a strategy here, the strategy should be to basically not look at the answers. It should be to just look at this part up here and try to work that out. And don't let yourself get influenced by the answers. Okay. I call this the direct solve method. Basically, you're doing it like you would in your algebra 2 class or your, pre-calculus class, or whatever you're taking. Okay. And then your answer should be here, but you're not biased by the answers. So could you give that a try, please?
2.
2 is not one of the answers.
No, I mean like number 2.
Oh, okay. Okay.
2.
Sorry. Sorry. That's on me. You're that's my fault. I grabbed this from a reference. I don't know why they don't use A, B, C, and D, but
Uh,
uh,
hmm.
so -3 times -2 squared plus 10 ends up being -12 plus 10, which is -2. Good. All right. Let's try one that's slightly more difficult. Again, I recommend not looking at the answers if you can, and just doing it, and then your answer should be there. And I'll do the A, B, C, D thing here.
Uh, 153.
Okay, so 2 times 9 squared minus 3 times square root of 9. Are you just going right to the calculator now, or are you trying to do these by hand?
No, I'm just using my calculator.
Okay, so that's fine.
Be sure to
One
ask,
of the things,
have the most trouble when you couldn't use the calculator.
yeah, so that's what I was gonna say is like let's see if we can do a few of these without the calculator. Because the that may be like some of these would be in the calculator, some wouldn't be. And maybe that's where some of the issues are. So let's try this one. You can turn the calculator over. Um,
14.
So 3 times 8 plus 4 divided by 2. 28 over 2 is 14. Very good. Okay. Now, all the problems we've been doing so far, you've been taking that value and putting it in for X. Do you agree with that?
Yeah.
So there's another style of problem that you will see. All right. The other style of problem is they give you the output. So like, let's say I come up with a function like, actually, I'll just reuse this one. Let me just reuse this one. 3x plus 4 over 2. So in a different problem here, they would actually tell you this. They would say f of x equals, let's go 30. Okay. So what this means is that they're not giving you x. They're actually giving you the output. So you set the equation equal to 30. Have you seen that before?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, any idea how you might solve something like this?
Um, divide.
You can't divide. Okay. But because we care about test taking strategies, let me give you a real problem and talk you through it. So I think this could be one of the issues that came up during your test here. So here's an actual problem. Okay. If h of x equals 2x plus 3, find the value of x if h of x equals 9. Do you agree that they're giving you the output, not x here? This is not the x value.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're saying 9 equals 2x plus 3. In this case, you'd probably want to use the answers,
Yeah, I got,
especially when it gets more complicated.
is it,
Question?
is it 3?
It is 3. Okay. Let's have you try one here on your own. Go ahead and take a look at that, please.
Is it 4?
You can always check, right? Is 3 times 4 minus 2, does that equal 6? Does that work?
I think so. Yeah.
It does. So it depends on the problem, right? It depends on what you're given, whether you should, use the answers or solve it or so on. I'm looking for a few other problems here. So it looks like they tend to go towards the graphs, which you probably saw there. Uh, let me I don't think we've done this one yet. So let's say all right, let's say here is the problem. And let's say that g of x equals negative 27. And the answers are -1, -2, -3, and -4. Try solving this one. So just like in the previous ones, you're going to set the output equal to the function. And you could try the answers or you could try solving.
-3.
It is -3. Let's try one more of those. Are you just trying the answers or are you doing anything to solve it? Because
Trying the answers.
okay, because it's okay. It is totally okay to actually undo this. Let me leave it up here. 'Sorry, hang on. I did not give you the right answers here. Sorry. Okay.
Zero.
0 does work. Good. All right. Let's go ahead and stop there for today. I'm going to stop the recording.